Welcome St. Peter's community to the 5th episode of the DBU podcast of 2023. On today's topic, we will be talking about how to welcome newcomers to our St. Peter's Panthers community. As you may have noticed, I've seen a lot of newcomers to our school and to our community, and I'm sure all of us were once new to a school, elementary school, high school, maybe even kindergarten. And sometimes it can feel a bit uncomfortable or awkward when you don't know, you haven't made any friends, so you don't know where to sit, who to go to, who to talk to. So today we do have a newcomer. Her name is Tessa, and she's in grade 10. And would you like to say anything about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Tessa and I'm from India. I'm a student here at St. Peter's for 3 months from now. And being a newcomer is really kind of exciting and overwhelming, which may have very high impact on the student who is coming and the environment which he is in. The comfort zone is totally broken. And when I came here, I had the feeling like I had an entire new country system, education system, the language itself. Language was very different. So when I came here, I had like some of the people came to me, they talked to me, they tried to make me comfortable. At first I was so like scared to talk to them, but then I got with the flow and I started talking to them. So I think when you see a newcomer, you should try to talk to them. You should try to talk to them again and again.
Yeah.
Until they get comfortable. You should never stop trying, talking to them. you should try and try again. Yeah. That's what I think.
We have a special guest with us today, Shak from Shak's World.
Hey! Thanks for having me, guys. So it's great to be here. I am Shak from Shak's World Community Center, and we are a youth mental and physical wellness facility in the downtown core. And I am really excited to join you guys for this conversation because we are constantly trying to create a safe space and encourage youth and new people to our community to come down and experience what it is to be a part of a positive, inclusive, and uplifting environment. So thanks for having me. I'm excited for the topic today.
We can talk about ways to, welcome people like newcomers to our school and how we can make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting because you guys are still in high school, but you mentioned that people are constantly starting new schools. They're constantly from elementary school to high school. You even start that, I think, at daycare. You go from daycare to kindergarten, and that's a switch. And it is really important that you continue to try to break down the walls of new people, continue in the conversation. It is difficult to integrate into a new community and try to build relationships with new people, but on our part, being comfortable and in an environment that you're used to, you should use that to your advantage in welcoming someone else so that they too feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think there's understanding routines first, right? Whenever you're in a new system, a new school, a new environment, a new community, and then once you understand the system and the routines, then it's making those connections and making the authentic connections, right? And just not being afraid to put yourself out there, but also not being afraid to put your hand out to someone new as well. Because I think in high school, I'm not in high school anymore, you guys, okay? Can you tell? LOL. But like, cliques, right? Everybody's got their groupies. I don't even know what you call it nowadays, right? How do we break free from that to welcome someone new as well? Like, how do we change that mentality of let's introduce someone else to our circle?
Yeah, and with that, the topic of cliques, like I've been to like 4 different elementary schools, like just moving around. And then I moved to Barrie about 3 years ago. And I noticed there was a change in the community from Toronto to Barrie. Like everyone was in their own cliques. Everyone was like I know this, and this person. You were off the side. So it was really hard for me to make friends, knowing that everyone already has their friend group, and I was like integrating to different friend groups. eventually, like 2 years later, I found my friend group, and most of the people I met coming here, like we don't even talk anymore. So it was definitely like what Tessa said, just continue talking to that person and always make them feel included.
Yeah, what you said, like, you know, everyone's like set in their own friend group. So it's like, I think people should try and have more of like I don't know how to say this, but just try and just be more open. So, you know, don't be afraid to switch up your group. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Don't be afraid to add more people or leave a group. Don't be like afraid, oh yeah, you love your friends, but you want to meet new people. So, you know, you want to go talk to new people, do it, and introduce yourself to newcomers to the school because they're probably alone. So you want to.
I think the lunchtime is the hardest for our students. And we see even our own students that have friends trying to switch their lunches because they don't have enough friends on a lunch. So we know that is a very hard time not to have your group, your support. So I would say, if we're seeing people at lunch eating by themselves, eating in the corners in the hallways because they don't even want to go into the cafeteria because it's too public, that's where we really need to kind of do that invitation. Inviting them up to lunch, inviting them into the cafeteria, into those public spaces that are often intimidating and overwhelming, because it can be really hard to break down those barriers.
And teachers, it's really important. I'm going to say this from experience. Just a couple weeks ago, I had a newcomer to my class a few weeks ago out of country, and I'd asked this particular student, are you okay on lunch? You have some friends, you're not eating alone. Oh yes, miss. And then I kind of peeked. The student was alone. And I peeked the next day, student was alone. So as teachers, we need to make sure that we're making sure that they're not just telling us that everything's okay. We do need to go out of our way. And it's a tough thing to do because you don't want to be spying on anybody, but we do need to be, we do need to go out and make sure that they are okay. And we're not asking people to be super best friends right away. I think that's really important, right? To mention that the connections will come and they'll deepen and you'll learn from each other. And that's okay because I guarantee you, people that were friends in grade 9 might not still be the same closest in grade 12. And that ebb and flow of relationship is going to continue with how you develop continuous relationships, right? And meet new people. So just wanted to share that a little bit.
So, as a newcomer also, the students who are coming new to the school, they had like pretty close friendships back in their previous school. So leaving them is another big thing. And when you come to a new school, anybody doesn't expect any best friends at the start, but still everybody does expect a student who is talking to you, who is considering you, who is making you like feel like you are involved. You belong.
You matter.
You matter, you belong here. And I would say that everybody has to cross their comfort zone. Like in my personal opinion, I had to cross my comfort zone to get into my happiness. I came here for something much better than the previous. Like previously, I needed a change, I needed a betterment. So I came here. And because of that, I had to cross my comfort zone, which is a very hard situation. Like when you are very comfortable with someone, something, and then you have to change that all of a sudden. Like my whole life changed when I came here. So what happens is you do not feel belong because you are so, you could say alienated.
You're
so different. So
it's like two different worlds too.
Meeting up all together. And my first day I came, my head was spinning. I was sweating and I was cold. So many things going on with me. I didn't know where the ways were. The ways, that's the most difficult part. The school is so big, so beautiful. I came to the school for 1 week. I was stuck at a single spot. Wherever I go to the exit. I go to the exit door. So I think people need to care more about the new students because I really hope that someone was there. If someone was there to guide me to my classroom, because I didn't know where my class was. So
So guiding to classes is what you're saying, Tessa. That's really important. And I don't think it's through bad intention that we don't think about those things, but it's so important moving forward that we are having, like, would you prefer teachers guiding you to a class or students?
Even like
Students.
Anybody
To guide you to class.
Yeah, and it goes into my question I had. Sorry. It's okay. When you first came into the school, like, how did you like feel like for guidance, and like were people giving you like the direction of like what to do, where to go, how you do everything, or like how was it first coming into the school? That's all.
When I first came to the school, I was happy, I was scared, everything was all together, and the guidance was really supportive. The guidance actually, they taught me the ways here. Guidance was really, really, really good, and I went into the classes. Like, my guidance counselor dropped me off to the classes, and I was there in the classes. I saw different faces, different people, different everything different.
Different teachers?
Different teachers, and even different classrooms. We don't have classrooms like that. Everything was different. So there were some people who were coming to me who tried to talk to me. They didn't know if I knew the language or not. So at first they were hesitant, and they came to me. They tried to talk to me. Sometimes I responded with a hand. That too very scared. And then sometimes I didn't, because I was so scared to speak. And for me, language barrier is something very big. So I think that people should consider both language and others' comfort. And when somebody does not know the language, we don't expect you to know the person's language, but just be patient with them. Just ask and ask again. Eventually, you'll get to know them.
Would it help if we had signs in our school in maybe different languages around, like different welcoming signs or navigation? You know what I mean, like getting from place to place. In the dominant languages of our school, maybe.
Okay. That's really good. But I would say that I had a welcoming committee in my previous school. So I would say that there should be a group of people who are there at the lunches and at the corridors when they are moving to the classrooms. I would say that some people should be, like, they should know that they have to navigate, help the other students. They have to sit with lunches. Like, some people should be there some of the students should be there they should take the initiative to make the newcomers comfortable. I would say like a committee, like a group of people.
I love that idea. There's I'm actually a part of the Link Leader crew, and I feel we mostly we pay more attention to grade 9s because they're coming from elementary school, right? But these are all great points. Like, I feel like we shouldn't just
maybe
focus on
within
them,
Link
right?
crew. There was another crew within that dealt with our newcomers that come throughout the year.
And I think the Link crew is amazing. But I guess now these days, it's getting newer. More people are coming from different countries. We need to do it all year round instead of just at the start of the year to help the grade 9s coming in. It would be great to do it all around. Or when you hear there's a new student coming in, a welcoming crew within the Link crew that can help the person.
And I know that that's the intention, right?
Yeah.
But not to be overbearing. And I think that having even newcomers in the welcoming committee also will make those connections happen, right? Yeah. So
I want to know, what were some culture shocks to you? Because I know some new students that came from Africa, Nigeria more specifically, and I was speaking to my mom because she comes from Nigeria. She's Nigerian, and back home there's no advanced functions, calculus. It's just all one math, and everyone's all in one classroom. There's no different classrooms for your parents. Everyone's in the same classroom. Everyone has only one teacher. You don't have to move to different classes. And it's more of a shorter pathway where it's elementary, high school, university, or grad school and all of that. It's just university and you're done. So what was some culture shocks for you?
Yeah, because in our religion class we were talking about this, how the schools are so different. It's insane.
Right. The school system and mainly the education system is very different. like history. And what happens is you don't have 2 semesters. You have 9 subjects altogether running throughout the year. So you have to study all of the 9 throughout the year, and then you have to give an exam. And you have exams every month. So it's just not after the semester 1 exam. That's not it. You have exams every month.
Every month.
Every month. And then you have labs. In labs, I was so happy to see that here. In labs, I was so excited to touch those lab things, because in my previous school, they didn't allow us to touch the equipments. It was all teachers would do and we would see. So that I got really happy by touching those lab things here. And as a culture shock, everything was new. Lockers, we didn't have lockers. We sat in one classroom and teachers would come to us and we will not move.
So you had to figure out the locker combination.
Yeah.
How to do that? That's stressful for anybody.
Very stressful. Actually, I don't use lockers because I lock the lock, but I am not able to.
I'm gonna show you. That's it. I'm gonna show you. I love doing that stuff. Left, right, left, right.
I locked it up, but I'm not able to open that again and see my lockers once. No, that's there and I don't go there. I don't even remember where my locker is, I guess. Yeah. And another culture shock is that our school isn't this big. It's just one, it's like a cake layer. One upon one. Like it goes up and not wide. Long, not wide. So what happened was, here you have to figure out the ways, and there we could just climb up one stair and you could get this exercise. That was really confusing for me, the ways, because everything for me looked the same, and I would mark one thing, like achievement board, yes, cafeteria, okay, and then I would mark some things and then I'll navigate my ways. Yeah, the technology here, I didn't use a laptop or computer, or I didn't.
Did you guys use Google Drive?
No, nothing. We would just have notebooks. Notebooks for every
I have 8 students that are technically designated as English language learners, and only 2 out of 8 are familiar with Google Drive. So even just saying, go into your Google Drive, I've shared everything with you. What's that? And just that simple little thing is so important. So teachers, again, students, maybe have the students in your classroom sitting beside someone that will be patient and navigate with them, just those little things. And they're pretty quick at learning the tools, of course, but it's just a whole new system. It saves automatically. Yep, it does. It's awesome. So I know we're kind of slowly wrapping up to the end of our podcast, right? And we're gonna still have like so many more in the future. Is anything anybody else want to add?
I did want to ask Shak a question, actually. I know you have like a community center, so do you have like any ideas for like us welcoming people into our school, or like activities that we can do?
Yeah, definitely. So just listening to this conversation, first of all, it's very insightful. This is great. One of the things that continue to kind of pop into my mind while you guys are talking about this, and I encourage students to do this all the time with your friends or people that you're just meeting for the first time, but I know it can be scary when you see someone that doesn't look like you, and you may not understand where they're coming from, but I really encourage most people to find a superpower in that person, talk to them until you find out what's special about them. So in this case, all that keeps popping into my mind is just try your best not to put that person in a box, just because someone might present like they came from India. You don't know what experiences they have. Listening to you, I'm like, wow, India sounds crazy. I'd love to go there.
She has so much joy.
Yes, and that's it, right? So Tessa comes from somewhere that's completely different than us, and just listening to her talk, I'm engaged and I'm learning about her and her background and where she's come from. So just not putting people in boxes, because it's very easy to think that you know someone just by looking at them and I believe studies show it really only takes 5 seconds to make a first impression.
Yeah.
But don't take that first impression as everything, because it's not everything. So to answer your question, that's kind of how Shak's world is, right? We're constantly looking for the superpower in each youth that comes through the door and getting to know them individually, because although we're all part of a larger society, we are individuals still. You know? And so to welcome someone is to accept that person, whatever that person is and everything they are and what they've come from, experiences, knowledge, and appearance. So to fully welcome someone is to just embrace them fully and learn who they are and not put that box around them immediately. Really dig through the box.
Yeah.
Figure it out, you know, because people are incredible, you know, and I'm getting to know each of you, and I'm seeing you each with your own incredible personalities, and I think everyone deserves that, right? Everyone deserves to have the opportunity to showcase who they are, not just what they look like, or you know,
like
where
don't
they
judge
come
a book
from.
by its cover.
Yeah,
exactly.
there's so
Look at
much
that. There's
to
so
it.
much more to it.
So
I always
that's
say,
why-
right, it's like an iceberg, right?
Yeah,
I know it's such a
It's
simple
just like-
analogy, and I know we're slowly wrapping up, but like, we think of an iceberg, we decide what we're gonna show the world,
That's right.
which is the top. We have no idea what is underneath,
That's right.
right? And that will change. So, yeah.
And lastly, I would like to say something that even if you are a newcomer, be brave. Don't be shy and don't hide your potentials because you don't belong. It's not that, to be specific, it's not even necessary that others should try and put the effort to make you belong in the society. You can try too. You should not be shy and like, you should not hide your potential.
That you need to be welcoming as well. You need to say, hi, I'm here.
Well, you know,
I'm here.
I think that goes hand in hand with authenticity, right? And when people are getting to know each of you as individuals, keeping in mind that the more authentic you are, the easier it'll be to connect with that person. And if you're pretending to be something you're not, you may end up in a friendship you had no business in, right? So being authentic and showing up as your whole self will force people to accept you, so that you no longer feel uncomfortable because you're comfortable with you. So it doesn't matter.
Also, I just wanted to add one thing.
Do it, girl.
Like when we're on the topic of culture and culture shock, be open to everyone's culture and where they're from, and not just base your ideas on what you see on media, because like it's like 1% of that whole country what you're seeing, and most of the time it's not even. It's just like they try to find the bad in that country when there's so many good.
You know what? I went to Lagos in 2021, I think, and for a month straight, people were like, "You shouldn't go. You're gonna get human trafficked. You're gonna get kidnapped. You're gonna get."
Because a lot of the movies in Hollywood showcase that.
You're gonna be. Where are you staying? In a hut? Where do you stay? I went. They have air conditioning. They got bottled water. Community. Listen, the people in Lagos are living better than Barrie.
Don't let social media.
There's a
fool
lot of
you.
big houses there.
Yeah.
Range Rover.
See, these are all assumptions. People need to stop these assumptions.
Yeah.
See it for yourself. Have, you know what, lived experience. Not
Have
lived
some
perception.
conversations.
See
Lived
for yourself.
experience.
Don't
Yeah.
trust other people's.
Oh, maybe you could get to know from a newcomer.
Exactly.
You could get to know
There you
exactly what it is, what it's like there, as opposed to going based off social media, because it's social media. It's a highlight reel for most places.
Yeah. That marks our end of the 5th podcast, and I hope you enjoyed the discussion and you're open to having these discussions in your classroom. And always be open-minded and speak to everyone, newcomer, or if maybe you knew them, they've been in your classes before, but you never really decided to speak to them. Say hi. can I borrow a pencil? Like,
That little thing will
Yeah.
just make her
Little
day.
thing.
Make kiss her day.
Can I just say one last thing? I'm so sorry. You mentioned the iceberg, and so you only know this much of someone's story, okay, guys? So stay humble and kind.